All right, welcome back to Black Lodge Trivia Night. This is Art, and I'm just going to say it. I gave Matt his chance. Matt, you had your chance. Matt's done some Dark Souls 3 on the Twitch stream. I'm going to do it here as like an official archived run for me. Obviously, anybody's welcome to do anything. If Matt would like to show you how to actually play this game decently. But yeah, Dark Souls 3. I've played Demon Souls, I played Dark Souls, and I played both forms of Dark Souls 2 on the channel, and I found that it might be time to keep going. And let's get started.
Yes, indeed. It is called Lothric, where the transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge. In venturing north, the pilgrims discover the truth of the old words. The fire fades, and the lords go without thrones. When the link of fire is threatened, the bell tolls, unearthing the old lords of Cinder from their graves. Aldrich, saint of the deep, Farron's undead legion, the Abyss Watchers. And the reclusive lord of the profaned capital. Yon the Giant. Only in truth, the lords will abandon their thrones. And the unkindled will rise. Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be cinder. And so it is that ash seeketh embers.
All right, so there we go. That's the intro movie. Sort of a similar setup to maybe, I guess, the first one where, there's, dirtbags like us that are not worthy. We're going to go with Coop again. We're going to go with Warrior. Yeah, why not? Burial Gift. We're going to take Black Fire Bombs because it's going to help us out early on. I don't know if the smart move is to take something else, but that's what I'm going to do. And then let's do some face presets. We'll do an Astora Noble. Build. Standard. Appearance. I never liked the haircuts in this game, so I'm going to get rid of it. Does that look weird? Sure. Do I care? No. and we're done. All right, so a couple of things just to start off with Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3, I would argue, has a higher skill floor than the first Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2. I'm not, and I say it a million times, like, I'm not great at these games. Obviously, I can beat them, but I'm not great at them. So this one, because it's the hardest one in the series so far, I'm going to struggle with a bit more. So just want to give you that kind of heads up right away. 2, it's a longer game than definitely Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1. I don't know. Dark Souls 2 can be pretty long. I don't know. But the point of saying that is that while I've played through this game a few times, because of its length, I have not played through it nearly as many times as Demon Souls or Dark Souls 1. So I don't know, like, NPC quests, a lot of, like, the little tricks that I start to sort of internalize inside and out in the first, like, Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1. Yeah, I'm just not as familiar. So I'm sure, like, this is not like the playthrough where you're going to get every lore detail and stuff like that, but it's just going to be, you know, my run through it and what I tend to be able to do and not do. I hope someday Matt does an official run, because I have a feeling the things, and I've heard him talking about it on his Twitch streams when he does it, it's just that none of those get archived. So, because he, like, this, I think he said this is his favorite one. So I would love to, hopefully someday, and hopefully if we continue with our, like, bonfire walk with me, we'll hopefully get here. But until then, you're just gonna have to put up with mine. I think a lot of people, man. Nope. I think if I were to put it bad metaphorically, I might say that this is like a more successful Episode 9 Rise of the Skywalker, where, because I think a lot of people, like, meaning the film that came before it, or the game that came before it, Dark Souls 2 or Episode 8, if we were doing Star Wars, is divisive. I think the apologists for Dark Souls 2 are passionate, much like the apologists are for Episode 8. And I think that, much like Episode 9, this game, I feel like, I don't know, is trying to get stuff back on track that got missed in Dark Souls 2. Now, Episode 9, this is why I say it's a more successful Episode 9, because Episode 9 sucks shit. Is truly a terrible movie. And its attempts to right the ship are so clumsy and ham-fisted that it just kind of ruins the whole movie and sort of thus the whole sequel franchise, sequel trilogy. So this, I think, is much more successful. I think this is a really good game. Before like Elden Ring came out, I might argue that this was my favorite one to play. And I say that because you get... I need to rest here because I burned all my... I say that because it's 60 frames per second. It's smooth as silk. It's pretty, you know, it's like Dark Souls 2, despite being like the newer game and sort of, I guess, the newer engine, looks, I think, awful compared to Dark Souls 1. And, you know, this just is like, you know, and Dark Souls 1, you know, like, at the time, before the remastered or whatever, like, it was pretty stuttery in places, like, you know, the swamp area down low just ran terribly. How do you... Oh, oops, okay. So this game comes and it's pretty, it's smooth, it's 60 frames per second. It's basically everything you kind of want a game experience to be. And this finally gets there. And okay, good. So they're giving us some firebombs. And this game gets there, and I think it's got a lot of cool set pieces. I think it's interesting in terms of lore. I think it's got the scope and grandeur that you want from a Souls game. But it's just, you know, but it's tricky. Let's ready those. So first, mark that this game's a little more difficult. You know, I almost feel like I should go heal up. Yeah, whatever. A lot of the time you do some kind of intro area like we just did, and then you encounter a boss and you're meant to die to that boss. You are not meant to die to this boss. You need to beat this boss. So first thing right off the bat, it's got an actual skill check to start the game, as opposed to just die and get teleported to the next area. Helps to have firebombs. I guess we didn't really... I mean, the black firebombs did a lot of damage. I don't know if that was worth it, but we got them. So what are you going to do? So yeah, so you can see right away you've got like a pretty decent boss fight going on there. So that is, you know... I don't want to say that boss fight is on the level of, you know, the DLC Dark Souls, Night Artorias. But you can see it's faster than a lot of, you know, at least Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1 fights. So right away it's telling you, like, hey, you need to bring a bit more of your A game, or you're not going to make it. see here, you got like sort of like graves lined up here. In Elden Ring, these are the kind of graves that are famous for like teleporting around. I don't know when that trope started. I don't know if that's here. Oh, no. In Dark Souls 1, you can use a grave to transport down to the Nido Covenant. So maybe that's the first instance of it. Part of that correction narratively is that people think that like this game has a lot of just like fan service for fan service's sake. I never felt that way. The moments I think that jump out as people's like, oh, that's just total fan service, dude. I kind of liked them. You know, I got into it. And we'll get there eventually. But yeah, I picked up what this game was putting down. Like I said, this game is... I don't play this game as often as other ones. Like if I want to just like get my fix... The easiest ones to do that in are Demon Souls and probably Dark Souls 1 more than Demon Souls. There's a guy... East West Shield. Yeah, you can see him up there. He's got like a really good dex weapon, but he's also a pain in the butt. You can cheese him. I'm not super good at that. What I want to see is, does this East-West shield... So this has a physical reduction of 86. This is 55, so it's even worse. Okay. This guy's fast, and he will bleed you in a heartbeat. But you can get him to jump off the edge if you're careful. Pretty tough as well, so... backing up so that when I die, I don't... So basically, you can get him to lunge off a cliff. You can get him if you can get him to do that. Okay, there we go. First death. Yeah, so you can see he's tough. If I wanted to go like if I could do that consistently, I'd be like, oh, I'm going Dex. I'm just going to grab that and then I'm off to the races. I'm not good at that though. So let's go get our souls. And let's head to the next main area. We'll figure that guy out in a little bit. But yeah, so, you know, there is a lot of people will say that this has some fan service. I think that might have been one of the big complaints that, you know, if you followed like Bonfireside Chat. I think that might have been one of their issues. And it's, you know, it's a fair criticism, but I didn't think it was just like a cheap callback. This way. I think it, and maybe it gets paid off more in the DLC. Maybe that's the trick, is that maybe it does feel like maybe it takes the DLC to lose that vibe. I don't know. So you could argue that's the first callback. We're in Firelink Shrine, but it looks very different. Looks very different. And I don't know if... So, again, like, I'm not going to be an expert in lore, but my understanding is that a lot of time has passed between Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3. Since our Forlorn Night.
Ah, another one roused from the sleep of death. Well, you're not alone. We unkindled are worthless. Can't even die right. Gives me conniptions. And they'd have us seek the Lords of Cinder and return them to their moulding thrones. But we're talking true legends, with the metal to link the fire. We're not fit to lick their boots. Don't you think? What a sick joke. Asking us to seek the Lords of Cinder and return them to their moulding thrones. We're talking true legends.
Okay. So he doesn't seem to have much to say. But you can see sort of the idea, like, you know, we're supposed to return the Lords of Cinder, which I think that's what, like, Lord Gwyn was, right? And that's what we sort of do at the end of 1 and 2, I guess, but especially 1.
Welcome to the bonfire, unkindled one. I'm a firekeeper. I tend to the flame and tend to thee. The lords have left their thrones and must be delivered to them. To this end, I am at thy side. Ashen One, to be unkindled is to be a vessel for souls. Sovereignless souls will become thy strength. I will show thee how. Ashen One, bring ye souls plucked from their vessels. Ashen One, to be sovereignless, I will show Ashen.
We're gonna level up. We got some souls. We can.
Then touch the darkness within me. Take nourishment from these sovereignless souls. Let these souls withdrawn from their
Okay, so I'm gonna get Dex up to 10. Get Strength going. Strength and Dex is because a lot, you know, just to get a bit of a quality build started, I guess.
Ashen ones, I'm ashen.
But a couple things you notice right away, like
Ashen may the flame.
She's a firekeeper, but in the original game, firekeepers were mute, right? They couldn't talk. She, you know, has a little bit of dialogue overlap with the maiden in black from Demon Souls, like almost like touch the demon inside me. We're gonna take the sword we got from that first boss. We can use it to create the bonfire. But yeah, like a lot of time has passed. So Firelink Shrine, maybe, assuming it's sort of the same, has been built up into a temple of sorts. It's already got some people living here.
A pleasure to make thine acquaintance, Ashen One. but a humble handmaid of the shrine. Weapons, armor, trinkets, and spells. I've lots of little things to ease the burden of a weary traveler. And yes, I'm undead too, but not so charitable as to give my goods away. Ashen One, fetch souls and bring them to me. As is thy wont, no? Ashen One, if my wares are not to thy satisfaction, bring me umbral ash. With ash, I'll fashion new wares. Is it not our sorry fate to sup on death? Knowest thou of that soppy gossip? That cordial intrusion layeth the path to embers? And so thou art in need of a soapstone, Ashen One. Then thy pockets will overflow with souls to trade to me. Ashen One, bring
Okay,
me...
so
Is it not-
she sort of just explained two different mechanics. One, obviously she's a merchant, but as a merchant, she can sort of upgrade her inventory, and she tells you how by collecting umbral ash. And two, she mentions like soapstones, which are what you need to, co-op and stuff like that.
Well, a newcomer, I see. I am Andre. I serve at this shrine as a humble smith, forging weapons. You're in search of the Lords of Cinder, I trust. A toilsome journey, I'd wager. You'll require good arms. Let me smith you weapons. I am a smith, such is my purpose. Weapons and protection are sturdy enough by and large, but when overused, they'll eventually break. When their durability is low, repair becomes a necessity. Use a powder, or simply rest at a bonfire. But should chance impel them break, bring them me. I'll hammer them back into shape. They take no pleasure in breaking, I assure ye. So handle them with care, if you would. There are two ways to smith weapons. Simple reinforcement is one, and infusion the other. Reinforcement is straightforward. It strengthens a weapon without altering its property. Infusion is a more advanced form of smithing that infuses an element. Reinforcement requires titanite, and infusion requires gems. Bring the stones, and I'll do the smithing. It's my purpose, after all. In battle, your weapons are your only friends. Forge them well, and they won't let you down. Another matter. Infusing weapons with gems requires a special kind of coal. My humble coals won't be any use infusing more unusual gems. I know, it's an awful shame, but it's all I have. Oh, please don't give me that look. Believe it or not, I'm quite thin-skinned. Oh, by the by, if you find any Estus shards, bring them here. They can be used to reinforce either of your Estus flasks. Without those flasks, you'd want for life or focus. And they'll always stay with you. Why not treat them well? Huh? Weapons and
Okay, so there we go. I don't know if I have anything, but so one of the things, trying to remember, but in this game there is two different flasks. There's healing And then there's flasks for like your special moves. I don't know if it's also spells. Might be spells as well. If you're coming back from Elden Ring, probably a lot of this is like, oh yeah. But if you were coming up through at the time, a lot of this was kind of new. So I don't have the required Titanite shards. What I would like to do though, I guess let me repair. I guess I'm good that way.
Prithee, be careful. I don't want to see my work squandered.
But as you can see, like we've got Andre, which again, I think that was the same name as the blacksmiths in Dark Souls.
Ah, how...
I wanted to see if she had... So embers are what you need to regain your quote-unquote human form. There's some improvements in that area. In Dark Souls 1, you needed the humanity. And you can sort of see these are shaped like, if you look at the shape really closely, they're actually shaped like a little bit like those floating things down in the DLC of Dark Souls. I don't know what the enemies were called, but they were sort of like the humanity blobs, so it's got a little bit of it. So you can sort of argue that these are humanity incarnate, so to speak. This is a white soapstone, which is for co-op. She mentioned you're going to need that, so I'll grab it. Shields are what I was looking for. Physical 52. She might not have any 100% shield, so I'm not going to bother with that. Weapons. 6 of one, half dozen of another at this point, so I guess we're good.
Ashen one.
And yeah, so right away they're sort of giving you some quality of life stuff, right? Like you have your blacksmith right there, you've got a shop right there. Sort of like your home base already has a lot of things, so you don't have to travel as much. I think over time, I think you could argue for as more difficult as they get. I do believe that the creators of the main games, Dark Souls, Demon Souls to Dark Souls, Dark Souls to Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring, I think they get a lot of the time like where the quality of life needs to come in and what's not terribly interesting. So I give them some credit for that. So you have, read the engraving, Yorm the Giant. So these are where you're going to Watchers of the Abyss. Holy King Lothric, last hope of his line. Ludlith the Exiled, who actually might be sitting there. So we'll talk to him in a sec. And then Saint Aldrich of the Deep. So a lot of these are the names mentioned in the opening cutscene. So we have to return 3 of them. The reason why we have to only return 3 of them is because this guy's already here.
All that unkindled, and a seeker of lords. I am Ludlith of Corland. Look not in bewilderment as I say. I linked the fire long ago, becoming the Lord of Cinder. If substantiation be thy want, set thine eyes upon my charred course. This sad cadaver, no need to be coy. Have a closer look. Knowest thou of our purpose? 5 thrones will take 5 lords as kindling for the linking of the fire. The fast-fading flame must be licked to preserve this world. A reenactment of the first linking of the fire. So it is, I became a Lord of Cinder. I may be but small, but I will die a Colossus. Knowest thou of our 5
Okay.
age? Now.
So as you can see there, if you remember from Dark Souls 1, it took 1 person to link the fire. Now it's going to take 5 Lords of Cinder to do it. So, and he mentioned like the fast fading flame. Like again, a lot of time has passed and a lot of time has passed, and the flame that you're relinking is growing weaker and weaker. Like, everything's getting weaker and weaker, so it takes more and more to keep it going. So that's why I don't 100% feel like it was just fan service, because I feel like it does a good job sort of dealing with that theme that time has passed and the world's ability to stave off the inevitable is coming to a close. And the DLC 1000% deals with that in what I find to be like a very, I don't know if touching is the right word, but I'm sort of moved by it in some ways. You can see the people are sort of becoming trees, or the trees, people grow out of the trees. You know, it's, again, I'm not going to be an expert on the lore, but some things, you know, some of the things I find interesting. So in our first area is the High Wall of Lothric, you know. And again, it's not quite the open world. You know, you need to at least teleport here to the first one. You've got iconography that's a little reminiscent of the Monumentals, even though this isn't really meant to be a Demon Souls follow. But I often feel like there's... like, I know, like... are they the same worlds? You know, I know officially maybe not, but... oh, there you are. You know, again, like, I don't know if I'm just looking for connection that isn't really there. But that's, you know. Now, I'll say up front, like, I find this game easier than Bloodborne and Elden Ring. So maybe it won't be the most brutal thing I've ever done on a stream, but it's definitely not going to be pretty. I will say this opening level always throws me a little bit. Before he switched. I didn't actually 100% remember which one it was. Also weak to fire, like that boss. It's all sort of the same idea. Yeah, if you know which ones to hit. You can get them before they get you. Oh, and what I should say is you can get them before they transform. What happened was I got sidetracked by the soldier when I should have just focused on... Now, I don't know if they're a one and done, like if they respawn. But yeah, this level always I get a little turned around on. like right away you can see I'm already turned around. Like I need to go a different direction, and I'm not 100% sure there was a second direction to go to from the top here. There was. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rest up, get all my Estus flasks back, and get healed up. And let's try the other way. A lot of people worshiping. They're sort of worshiping, it looks like the people in the trees, or maybe the people in the trees are also worshiping. And they were just there so long that... You should see, still can't parry. Now, Bloodborne might... Oop, this guy's gonna... Bloodborne might not actually be the harder game, but it's harder for me because I'm just not good at that style. The way it wants you to play it. See a fallen dragon. Dragon's corpse is hiding above an entrance with gold pine resin, which of course gives you lightning damage to your business. I thought I remember, maybe it's not this level. Any advantage to falling here? So I will say, I had a hell of a time getting this started. The reason why I was able to sort of go through the options of the character creation so fast is because it was my 4th time doing it. I was almost about to just say screw it and start it on the PlayStation and just do my run there and capture it. Thought. There's a dragon that wakes up and torches everybody. This is a little tricky. Those guys are, those like Knights of Lothric, they're a little tough. There's also a bunch of guys here. I could get behind him and backstab him. But I guess if they were like trained warriors, they would, they'd be wise to that. So it makes sense it's a little tougher. I thought there was also a bit of an ambush here. I think a lot of these guys can come to life and attack you if you're not careful. I mean, even if you are careful, they're still going to do it. But when you're suddenly dealing with the Lothric Knight or whatever it's called, and then these guys all wake up, it's kind of like, oh crap. All right. Can I unlock that door? Or is it only from the other side? So clearly we've made progress, but because again, this level I always have trouble with the geography of, like, hard pressed to know, like, is this better? Are we on the right track? So again, you just saw that knight's back, so I gotta be careful dealing with him. Be careful with these barrels because they are all, I think, explosive. So this is one of the NPCs that have like a really great quest line. I think that's who it is. I never get it to work. It's almost one of those things like maybe I should like go look it up because it's a good quest line and it can help you out. It seems very fragile, like a lot of quest lines can be. So that's a shortcut that So we'll see how far I get, but it's an NPC that at some point I think you can lose if you're not careful, and he's like one of the good ones, so to speak. All right, so now one of those guys on the roof can transform. I think it's the guy holding his head. I'm gonna go for it. Nope. It's the other guy. Now the trick with these guys is that they're so like spastic that it's hard to sort of know what they're doing, which is a problem that like Elden Ring which Elden Ring has. Like some of the things get just so wild that you're just like, okay, I have no idea where to look, where to attack. I don't know what's going on. So it fell off the roof. I don't know if I can quit the game and come back and like what it had would... You know how you could do that? And let's try it just to be safe. Because, yeah, like when you kick the guy off the ledge in Dark Souls 1 and he falls off you can get his stuff back. Let's just see if that works. Because usually those... like little mini bosses, they drop something like a Titanite chart, something that would be useful. It's interesting. Put it back. Raw gem, okay. You know, if you remember, Andre's talking about you need gems to infuse weapons. Raw gem might be a bit of a pure damage kind of boost. Maybe it loses some strength dex kind of, whatever kind of scaling for more base raw damage. You get the mention of hunters, which is something that comes back in Bloodborne. I don't know which one's first. But it's interesting, you know. I always feel like there's a lot more of a through line with these games than... I don't know if it's just because it's the same people, like, enjoying the same inspirations, or if there's something more to it. There's another knight over here. This is an ambush. Which is all fine. It's just I don't feel like I'm making... progress towards shortcuts. This guy's got a bit of a similar look to a boss you see, not a boss, but an enemy you see, a tough enemy you see very early in Bloodborne. I'm assuming that he'll kick my ass, just because it's been a while since I played this. And embers sort of restore your humanity. The nice thing about, again, it's a quality of life thing. The nice thing about them in this game is they can be used at any time. You don't have to go to the bonfire to restore your humanity. You can just pop one in the middle of things and you're good to go. Oh, maybe this is the ambush I was thinking of earlier. And to the idea that maybe it was fan service, after Dark Souls 2, again, I wish I remember, for some reason I thought Bloodborne came first, but maybe not. Bloodborne was 2015, because I think it's, as of the time of this recording, it's 10-year anniversary. Let me see when Dark Souls... Nope, 3 release dates. 2016. So this came after Bloodborne by, I guess, a year or so. So it was nice to it was nice to have a return to form. You know, like, as somebody who genuinely enjoys the setting of Bloodborne but not the mechanics. Although I've been replaying it a little bit recently, and it's grown on me a bit more, but it was nice to, like, man, I just wanted another Dark Souls game, and then you got it. So I think we're back to the first. We're back to the first bonfire. So we've done that whole thing. Well, let me rest now. You know what? Let's travel back to Firelink Shrine. I was gonna say maybe we can upgrade, but I don't know if this is the weapon I want to go with. So if nothing else, let's level up.
Welcome home, speak. Very well, then Tuthaken. Let these souls withdrawn from their
Vigor, what does that do? Hit points, what is vitality? Grip load, okay. Endurance, stamina, okay, makes sense. Now let's... Okay.
farewell.
Okay, I think, yeah, we want the high wall because we've unlocked this shortcut with the elevator. But yeah, I was saying earlier, like, this is like my 4th try trying to get this to work. And I am not going to lie. this was not the easiest thing to get going. Like I said, I almost started on the PlayStation 5 just because it'd be easier. But different things happened. Not connected to this at all. Like, first thing I did is I wasn't even sure. I knew I was going to have some potential time this evening to play, but I wasn't sure I was going to actually get to do it because burned the shit out of my hand cooking dinner. Not my whole hand, one of my fingers. I was boiling water for spaghetti, and I had tongs. It was so dumb. I had tongs in my hand to pull it out of the water and drop it into the pan where I was making the sauce. You know, and then you throw a little pasta water in there, yada, yada, yada. And it was really dumb. I took the tongs and I sort of turned them on their side to sort of pull some of the loose spaghetti out a little bit more than I had, and then water basically ran down the tong. So I had sort of scooped it out of the pot of water and just dumped it all over one of my fingers. And I'm not gonna lie, it killed. It was pretty unpleasant for a while. Like, I couldn't get to stop. And then, of course, the classic thing, you know, you throw some aloe on it. And that actually did the trick. Before that, even icing it, running under cold water, like, there was some aspect of the pain I just could not get to stop. And, you know, pop some Advil. Like, it did all sorts of stuff. Finally, it stopped. And I was like, okay, I think I'll get to play. Then I actually had a lot of technical issues trying to get this to run. My computer's been really weird. And I hate that because I don't do weird stuff. I don't, like, run beta software. Like, I try and keep it really stable. That's always my goal, is, like, I want it to be stable. And maybe I try that guy now. Now that I've got the shortcut going, I've got 3 Estus. Let's give it a shot. Can I get him to drop down? And then... Can I... Do I get a plunging attack if I do this? Or just get the shit beat out of me? Hit. Okay. Oh, goddamn. Getting greedy. Should have had him. Should have had him. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on. Like, I could not get my... Not that I'm going to do every single one of these sessions on camera, but I wanted to do the first one just to get started that way. Am I in the right spot? This doesn't feel like the right one. Is it? Yeah, that's okay. Sorry, why is that? Like, why am I not finding? I was about to say, why am I not seeing the thing to drop off? But here it is. Yeah, I don't know what's been going on. Like, I've always had like weird issues with my USB ports on my motherboard with this AMD. like it's got like these two USB 4 ports on the back. I can only ever get like one to work. I have two like these AverMedia PCI capture cards, but you know, but that can get messed up because of like the way the PCI lanes work. I don't know if I'm actually you know, and then you got M2 drive because I need like if I only needed like 2 M2 drives, it might be fine, but the fact that I need 3 I think screws up, you know, how like certain things have to share with other things. Like I don't quite know how it works, but I've always had issues with USB ports on this computer. Anyway, none of that matters, but it's just the point is that so that started to get weird. So then I ripped out one of the cards. As you can see, I just held it up and decided, you know what, screw it. I'm going to go back to like just a USB cam link, and I plugged it into like the other USB 4 port. Didn't work. So there's a bit of delay that I need to incorporate into my moves. I'm panic rolling. Like right there, like I'm just spamming roll when I need to take a little more time. I walked into 2 of those. This might not be the run. Oh, shit. Did decently at avoiding those the first time. I'm gonna get hit by that because yeah, this sucks. Yep. I think this guy's a boss. I don't know if he responds. Anyway, so yeah, like I couldn't get my camera to turn on, or I got it to turn on. I just couldn't get into the computer for some reason. Switched to a cam link, couldn't get the USB port to work. You know, finally got that to work, and then I was getting like screen tearing on Dark Souls 3, which is what was making me thinking, you know, maybe I'm just going to switch over to the PlayStation. It was just like a giant shit show. So then, and you know, they don't have settings in the game for like, I really wish they would, like borderless window. That would help. Don't have it. Which I think the Dark Souls 1 remaster, I think they got that going. So then I had to sort of set it to, like in the GeForce app or this control panel settings, I set it to VSync instead of like. And so now I'm getting like a locked 60 instead of, you know, my monitor can do a 144 refresh rate, but anyway. But yeah, it was just like, so then, oh, and then for some reason, like I still haven't figured this out. Like usually I can control my OBS inputs with my Stream Deck, but you know, like if I want to pause recording, start recording, stuff like that, can't do it. For some reason I just get like an exclamation point, like something screwed up. No idea what's going on. So, but yeah, basically nothing worked. And I finally got enough up and running to record. But, Oh, shit. Ah, fuck you. Of course I can't see. Because I'm stuck in a... There we go. What do we get for that? I think that little wisp of white smoke means it doesn't come back, but I could be completely wrong about that. I have no idea. Anyway, so that just burned all my Estus. I got a lot of these guys here. I think that's new. I don't recall that from earlier Dark Souls where you can kick him and it opens up like a full, like you parry. So you can remember these guys were from the opening cutscenes. One collapsed. I was gonna say, you gotta drop him before the other guy shows up. I don't actually quite know why I'm doing this, because reality is that I have no Estus, so I can't even... What I should be doing is retreating, so that when I die, it's easier to get my souls. I don't know if that was a good spot to retreat to. But, and you know, I've unlocked the shortcuts to get sort of where I need to go for the first boss, but I clearly haven't done like the side stuff. Like there's that guy in a prison cell. I don't know where to get that key. Anyway, yeah, so I gotta say, this was this has been a frustrating evening. The food ended up being like the food tasted good, but I was shocked. I was shocked how much it hurt to dump boiling water on your hand, and I don't know why I should have been shocked. Like, it wasn't just the skin that hurt. Like, it went, like, sometimes it felt like just, like, the very core of my finger was in pain. Like, something deep. But, of course, it's like a finger, so it's not like there's tons of depth to it. Oh, no, he's back. All right. I don't know what the point of that is, then. Farm him for something? This guy up here, so it's one-on-one. I don't have to worry about the patrol pattern. I find the spear guys easier than the sword. Let me see if it'll let me... I've only got 2 flasks. It didn't do as much as I hoped. So you got a new damage effect here, at least new to the Soul series, the Frost buildup. Frost in Elden Ring, at least early on, was really good. It's hard, well, it wasn't so much the case there. Sometimes it can be really hard to see. Oh, just screwed that. Okay. If I get frost buildup, I'm definitely dead. So this might not be the run for a number of reasons. Yep. I don't know if the frostbite killed me, but definitely knocked me down. So it looks like I'm good to go for the boss. For some reason I thought I had to do something else before I got to the boss, but so let me just do a little bit of a boss run. Nope. I was hoping to sneak by. Nope. Basically, I was trying to preserve my flasks and be clever. Didn't work. The other nice thing about this game, you know, it came on the heels of Dark Souls 2, which I thought was disappointing, and then Bloodborne, which I thought was really fascinating, but not what I was looking for. And this didn't feel like it was just like a... Whether you like it or not, at least in my mind, it felt really considered. Where like Dark Souls 2, you know, definitely feels considered, but it feels like they want to do something different. So he's entered phase 2, which is a little more batshit. A little bit more frostbite. Fucking bad. Fuck. I used to be able to. I used to. Easy is not the right word, but this boss used to not challenge me so much. Wow. Yes, well, whatever. Okay. But you can see, like what I was saying, like again, the skill floor of this game is much higher. I think you could argue this is like the second boss. You know, the first boss is the judge guy. He's harder than a lot of bosses in early games. And then I would say, you know, this boss is, you know, harder than a lot of bosses in other games, the earlier games. Like, I think at one point I made a joke in our bonfire walk with me that if you could beat, like a boss in Elden Ring, you could beat basically all of Demon Souls. I feel like that almost holds true for Dark Souls 3 as well. I guess you could say even Bloodborne. Getting a little bit of a boss run, but honestly, not terrible. This weapon definitely doesn't have much reach. probably something I want to be behind him on, and I had a chance and just didn't take it. Shit. Okay. Nope. There we go. A little greedy, but got it. All right. What I might, yeah, you know what I might do? You know, maybe the key to unlock that guy is not in this area. Maybe it's in the next area. Let's travel back to Firelink Shrine.
Welcome home, speak thine. Very well. Then touch the dark, take nourishment. Let these souls withdraw from their dust. Manifestation.
Okay, getting our strength up there.
Farewell, Ashen.
I don't think I've found any Estus shards, but let me just make sure.
Ah, 'tis good what needs.
Nope. Okay.
Prithee, be careful.
Oh, you know, one thing we could do. I don't know if I can actually do it, but we didn't fully explore. Firelink Shrine. You know, we sort of scoped out the lower area, but there's an upper area too that I want the other side. Crap. That might have an interesting. There's a part of me that wishes I could go take that guy outside with the dex weapon, because if I could, then at least I would know, like that's a weapon I could go with, if you know what I mean. So first and foremost, let's see if we can do it. So we're gonna get a key to that eventually, but and there's a way to knock that ladder down, blah, 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 and it requires the key, but you can shortcut it. But I haven't researched how to do it. You can use this tree to get the height you need to jump the ledge. And there's a certain spot you need to point at from a certain... And you can Google how to do it, and there's YouTube videos on how to do it. But I didn't look them up beforehand, so I won't spend too much time. Maybe I'll... Because what you got to do is you got to change direction for your jump. See how you sort of popped up there a little bit? That's part of the trick, and that gives you the height you need to get it. But I'm not going to, you know, I'll figure that out. But you can see there's even a marker right there in the tree, and the whole point of that marker is to be like, hey, you're trying to hit sort of that spot. But, and then if you do that, there's some stuff up there in the rafters that you can even see it right there. That could be useful. Some hidden doors. But we're not going to worry about that right now. Let's travel to Vorta the Boreal Valley, but let's not, you know, we open the doors, but I think we need to do something before we continue. And what we have to do is we have to go the other direction, back up those stairs. And it's one of those things where, like, if you're really good at the game, you can shortcut your way to an area that gives you tons of good stuff. I am not really good at the game. It's a really good boss fight, but it's not one I can jump the gun on to this degree. Like, we're pretty early in the game. You know, we don't have a weapon that's upgraded at all. Nope. Actually, you know, that might... You know what? They follow me in? No. Good. So, yeah, there's a way to shortcut so you can get up there. But I'm not going to do that. Just do it the normal way.
The wait has been long, unkindled one. I am Emma, High Priestess of Lothric Castle. Allow me to speak frankly. You will not find the Lords of Cinder here. They have left, gone, to their journey homes converging at the base of this castle. Head to the bottom of the high wall, forge on through the great gate, and raise this banner to proceed. This farewell gift is for you. It is the insignia of an old covenant. If you fear trespassers, dark spirits drawn by the embers, then etch this upon your heart, and the old Concord will beckon noble blue sentinels to hunt these foul spirits. What is wrong, unkindled one? Are you not a Lord Seeker? Head to the base of the high wall and seek the Lords of Cinder. Is this not the calling of your kind since ages past? What is wrong?
Okay.
Are you not? Is this...
So there we go. We got the banner, which is what we need to keep going. Now, if you attack her, so if you sort of see like a statue with a sword to its neck, there's a way like it'll start filling with blood and then it'll blah, blah, blah. But if you attack her, you can sort of trigger the same thing. And then there's a boss fight here. I don't know if you can see, maybe not. There's a boss fight here that if you can beat it now, you can sort of jump the gun and be good to go. But I'm not that guy. And then if you thought these guys were tough, this guy's even tougher, but I thought there was something here, or you get something for killing him. It's not a bad start. see. The good thing is I'm only going to lose 400 souls, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. What I'll do is I'll let this go for now. Because one thing I really would like to have a shield that blocks 100% damage. And maybe we'll start getting weapons and stuff that I'm more interested in the next section. But, she was saying, like, hey, you're not going to find the Lords of Cinder here. Go to the base of the high wall, which is sort of where we're at. So we're going to make our way down. Raise the banner. All right, so now we're at the base of the high wall. And again, much like, in the original Dark Souls, we're going to keep making our way down and down. We're going to end up down somewhere there eventually. And I would also argue that those gargoyles still makes more narrative sense in this than it does in Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 1, I feel like there's just like click the gold ring and then all of a sudden this happens. Like here, at least you need the banner, which is enough of a hand wave to be like, yeah, you've given the signal that indicates friend or foe, in this case, friend. And that's it. Then they know it's good to go. They see the banner, they come get you. Their monsters are not going to be too picky of who they grab. I had the credentials. Okay, again, you can see a lot of these pilgrims. They were there in the opening cutscene when it collapsed. They're all pointed towards the castle. Yeah, but yeah, now she was saying, like, you're not going to find the Lords of Cinder here. I think there is actually one up there, and so I think her job is to actually steer you away from it. Bone. One of the NPCs you can get is here. If you sort of look, everyone seems to be... But one of them is moving.
Please. Grant me death. Undo my shackles. Oh, then it's true. A champion of Ash as I live and breathe. To be in your presence is a great honor. I am Yol of Londor, a pilgrim, as you can see, only somehow I failed to die as was ordained. Well, perhaps my calling lies elsewhere. Say, champion of Ash, how does the idea of taking me into your service strike you? I was once a sorcerer. Surely I can be of use. Oh, I am honored, truly. I should be dead. Yet you have granted me purpose anew. I, Yol of Londor, do solemnly swear myself to you.
Okay. And so he'll be back in the Firelink Shrine waiting for us. So you've got sort of these creatures. Some are at the gate begging to be let in. And then watch what happens. They open the gate and very much release the hounds. Not much of a space between the bonfires, but, at least you don't have to deal with the dogs, I guess. See, they just... I'm going to close this just to make sure if it keeps the dogs out. So you're sort of getting your undead burg with this undead settlement. These kinds of creatures sort of make their comeback in Elden Ring in a lot of the dungeons. I probably said this before. Part of what I think I like so much about Elden Ring is that it feels like the culmination of so many ideas. Almost like everything was sort of leading up to that game with full polish. And maybe that's selling everything else short, I don't know. But yeah, Elden Ring, the quality of life, the, interesting mechanics. World building, the lore. Of course, they had some help with the lore, but who cares? Now, as you're running through this level, if you don't know, one tip you want to do is, you see these guys in the cages. You see the pile of body in the cages. You want to sort of try locking on as you run around them, because at some point they're going to be alive, and you want to... you want a little heads up so you don't just run face first into them. Here's the body we dropped, Loretta's bone. Exploding barrels, but obviously worshipping around the tree, this sort of nightmarish taken sort of like this deacon. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to... Okay. Love that void, that come to me. Nope. That might do it. Nope, maybe not quite. So that spell does bleed buildup, so that's bad news. I think this is the direction I came from, right? Then can they worship in peace? No. Okay, so it's our first Estus shard, so I don't know if that boosts it up to like a +1 or if that gives us another flask to drink. Because there's two mechanics at work there. There's getting more and then... Because it's not like in Dark Souls 1 where you... You know, you kindle the bonfire so that you can go up to 10 and then you kill the boss that lets you go up to 20. That's not in effect here. So there's a couple ways we can go from here. There's a bit of an ambush in here. Maybe it's further in the barn. That was an ambush, but I thought there was more of the little guys that you see in Elden Ring dropping down. That's like a Caldicus round shield or something. So I wonder... Nope, still worse. Oh. Oh, where are you coming from over there? Crap. There we go. All right. Still not loving this weapon. Let me try going the other. I mean, this weapon, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, it hits hard, etc., but it's like something with a little more reach. Now, I can skip the rest of this room if I want to drop down here, but I think you take a little bit of damage. Oh. I'm being careful, like trying to hit the lantern guys first because I feel like they've got some kind of like fire damage and you're surrounded by exploding barrels, so I'm just trying to be mindful. Let's go this way. Is there... There is. There's something there. Alright, here it comes. That one a little easier than last time. Like, these guys almost have like that saw. Well, it might be reading too much into it. It's sort of like the saw blade from Bloodborne. Okay. I use the bow and arrow. No. Okay, well, shit. All right. Again, there you go. See? It's good to... These guys hit pretty hard, and they have some reach to them. Nope. Okay, so... Warrior of Sunlight. Is that a good shield? It's not a shield. Okay. Maybe it's just the crest for the... Now, is this gonna... I just want to see something. Let me heal up, because I think... Nope, it just heals you. Okay. I thought it might refill your flasks, but... Okay, so I just wasted... Ah, that's okay. So this is the... We ran into those guys up there. They would have dropped down on us had we just run straight through. These guys can be a little tricky. Obviously they take a beating. I think they cause a lot of bleed. I gotta tell you, this is definitely not the run. There's some like pretty tough moments coming up, and in bad shape. Nope. Some classic Souls bullshit clipping going on there. Nope. It's an even worse weapon. This is a trap. It worked out that way, but that takes you right into that armored guy that was patrolling on the ground. But luckily for me, the timing worked out. Like I was trying to roll through that spell he cast and then just walked into it instead. Yeah, I was hoping there'd be some weapons I'd enjoy using more somewhere in this level, but so far, it's not the case. We're almost potentially to the next bonfire. Out of flask. This guy can be tough. You can see, like, you can't backstab him because he's got that shield strapped to his back. If nothing else, though, I think there's some ashes up ahead that'll unlock more things at the store. This definitely is the kind of saw blade from Bloodborne. Obviously, you can see a lot of the arrows. There's somebody up, I think, on that tower. Maybe over there. Somebody's going to launch arrows and... Reinforced club's not bad. Get the ashes. Nope, that's the cleric's outfit. I don't want that. I thought the ashes were up that hill. Let me take a look at that shield at least. Maybe that will do a little more protection. Nope. Wow. Reinforced club, though. 125 plus 29. For a total of 154. This is 141. This will do a little bleed damage, though. Maybe that's interesting. Again, the club's not gonna... don't think it's going to have much reach either. Bleed buildup, you can see pay off there a little bit. So I got the ashes. I'm not sure if it's going to get me anything interesting. Let's take a look. I didn't think they would get me out here, but there are spears out here, so I guess I should have expected that. I imagine, I don't know, maybe like it scales with strength at C. Maybe Matt would be like, fuck yeah, the Reinforced Club. But, for me, I don't know. Matt is very much like a strength build kind of expert, so I am not.
How gracious, passing fine ash thou hast given. Let this ash bestow nourishment. I only hope these new wares content thee.
Okay, let's see what it gets us. Plenty of embers. So she had 3 to begin with. It gets us another stock of 3 if we wanted. We've got things that can buff our weapons. We've got this dried finger, which I can't remember. Used to strengthen connection to other worlds, allowing the summoning of a third phantom. Okay, so it lets you summon more, but it makes things more difficult. Key to the barred door leading from the sewer below the undead settlement to a moist grave. Let's grab that. This is the key that you need for the top. And so if you can do that jump, you can save yourself 20,000 souls. Or, you can go farm souls. It's not the end of the world. As far as weapons go, what do we got now? We've got a sorcerer's staff, a halberd, a scimitar. Any shields of worth? 52, 52, 62, 85. I think that's what we're sort of working with. So nothing going on there as far as that goes. The halberd, could be interesting. Not really. Sell items. There's stuff we absolutely don't need. What is that?
Ashen one. Bring
Okay.
me with. Is it not?
I don't want to burn this because I'm sure I can do something with it.
Welcome home, I should speak then. Very well, then Tut take no. Let these souls withdraw.
So we can use the... Oh. I was going to say then we can use the bow.
Farewell, Ashen One. May the flames guide thee.
The other thing you can sort of do, not that I'm going to be good at it, but so usually when you do this, it needs a second to load. Thought? Yeah. You can get the drop on the scimitar guy. And again, not that that's gonna, but you can do like a drop plunge attack on him, which could help a little bit. I think. There we go. Yeah, let's do the quit out. See if, man, I hope we get. I mean, so that there you go. I mean, that's the cheese, right? You just knock him off a ledge, or you can get him to like sort of lunge at you off a ledge. That's the smoother way. But in this case, we were lucky we were able to get a couple shots in. Uchigatana, there we go. That's a good weapon. When do we need to use that? Let's take a look at that weapon. Dex of 16, so we're close. Like, that's a kind of weapon I could see myself. Like, oh, okay. Oh, but you know what? We might be able to get one more level. Again, I think the Uchigatana... Let me see if this guy's got anything.
Ooh, yet to give in, eh? Good. The Firekeeper must be twitching with delight. But what do you really know about these Lords of Cinder? These supposed legends? Let's take Aldrich, for one. A right and proper cleric. Only he developed a habit of devouring men. He ate so many that he bloated like a drowned pig, then softened into sludge. So they stuck him in the Cathedral of the Deep, and they made him a Lord of Cinder, not for virtue, but for might. Such as a lord, I suppose. But here I ask, do we have a sodding chance?
I love that laugh.
At the foot of Lothric Castle, an old path still runs below the tower in the undead settlement. It was used to transport sacrifices to the Cathedral of the Deep. You should see where it leads, if you've the stones for it. At the foot of Lothric.
Okay. So he's sort of giving you some guidance about where you can go. Now, I can't tell if that's guidance of where we might go or if that's guidance
Speak then. Very well.
for like this interesting
Take nourishment.
path you can discover. So we need to get to 2 more. Now we can get 1 more.
Farewell, Ashen.
Now I'm okay putting some resources into the Uchi.
Ah, 'tis good, wasn't he?
We're gonna get there.
Pretty big.
So now we found that pilgrim.
Oh, our champion of Ash, welcome home. This pilgrim, with a debt in death, hardly deserves to behold this divine flame. And I never would have, had you not taken me into your service. I thank you dearly for this, and assure you of my leal service.
So one of the things you can do, besides sorcery,
As I have said, I was once a sorcerer. Alas, the magic of Londor is a far cry from the wonders of Vinheim. But I can teach you what I know. Perhaps, more importantly, I believe that I can help tease out your true strength. We pilgrims of Londor are keenly aware that those branded by the dark sign possess something quite special.
the other thing you do is you can draw out your true strength.
As I have said, but I may weep that though.
What that does,
Then shall we begin? Bearer of the dark sign, let your true strength shine.
it's a free level. Now, as part of his quest, you can do that 5 times, but you can't just do it over and over. Like, as you can see, the option's not there, but you can,
Safe, champion of Ash.
but you can come back at some point after you've done something, and the pilgrim will offer you another opportunity to level up for free. Do I have an undead bone shard? Nope, that's not what I meant to do. I think the undead bone shards might be what boost your Estus flask, and then the Estus shards. I picked one up. I can give it to this guy, and I think that'll give me a 5th flask.
Ah, 'tis good, wasn't he?
I think I've only got the one. Okay.
Pretty be careful.
I'm gonna go back here and try taking the other path. Oh, and also there's the body in the tree, which now I can use the bow and arrow. I don't know if I have arrows. Let me I've got 12 arrows. So if I can clear that courtyard with that sort of deacon. Can I even hit it from here? A little too close. My fear is I'm gonna trigger the. Yep.
Poor child, come to me.
cleanse the bastard's curse.
Smack you with the Bible. Should do it. Nice. All right. Not worth it, but interesting. Now, unfortunately, I want to go back here and get my souls because, you know, the whole, well, can I farm some? Yeah. I just don't want to leave 2 grand, and then I want to maybe try out the other direction. I'm going to need to... This went poorly. Can I just go for it?
Cleanse the bastard's curse.
We'll cleanse the bastard's curse, yeah. Getting greedy and it's not working. Shit. Can I get here without dealing with the deacon? I think the answer might be yes. So I'm going to go one back one more time. I don't remember. I think I need over 3,000 souls. So I'm getting close, but does it say on my sheet? You know what? Let's not worry about it now because I'm going to have to deal with this guy. Hug the outside wall. So far, so good. Okay, required souls. Almost there, but there's a couple of... Yeah, these guys should hopefully get me across the threshold. Hopefully the Uchi Katana doesn't just suck. I'm like, yeah, it'll be a weapon I don't mind putting resources into, haha, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, no, actually I should have stuck with the axe where I got a 25 strength. Yeah, Dex is I've probably said this in other runs. Maybe I said it in Bonfire Walk with as well, but Dex is a more recent addition to my repertoire.
Welcome home, I speak. Very well. Then touch take none.
It's something I really grew to love in Demon Souls, Dark Souls. You know, I really take into it. I don't know if I've messed with it too much here.
Farewell, Ash.
All right, so let's see what we got. We got the Uchi. We got 125, 30. So that's going to be 156. This is going to be 158. So this is going to... Okay, we're a little bit ahead of the curve now. Plus, we're going to get bleed damage. Probably sell...
Wow.
We purchase shards? What do we got? I guess not. Okay.
Ashen 1.
Yeah, let's see if we can go that other direction where now that we don't have a ton of souls. If you remember a couple of runs ago, all the blow dart guys on the roofs took us out. So let's head down that path again. Get to the end of that. I like that this has that lunge attack. Again, range was something I was missing on the last couple of weapons. Somewhere out there, Matt senses a disturbance, like someone went Dex instead of Strength. Ooh. Now, there was sort of like a secret somewhere around here. Screw that. I don't recall how to get to it, but yeah, there was a secret down here where there was a guy, much like in Bloodborne, you could get captured. And if you let yourself, like, get captured by this guy... Yeah, I don't recall. It's somewhere up here. It's somewhere, you access it somewhere from those paths by the, where the blow dart guys were, and I can't recall. This guy is not as susceptible to fire. Again, having a little bit of range helps because, again, they hit hard, and it can be one of those things where it's just like sort of stun locks you a bit because it's like you just get hit over and over and they all hit pretty hard. And yeah, I'm not remembering how to get to... And what I think it does is I think it leads to a covenant. This is why I wish... I feel bad. This is why I wish Matt had... yeah, it's this guy. I wish Matt had done his runs because it's... you can see, so instead of having the shield tied to his back, he's got this cage. I want to see what's in that body first. Because, you know, Matt would be able to explain like all the ins and outs because I think he's played this a number of times. So yeah, we get that lowered, and then I don't know if he has to kill you or if he just captures you if you get close enough. Oh, that's how you... Okay. So yeah, this is, I think a covenant. We're going to pick up an item here that you can donate towards the cause. Oh, no, maybe not.
Well, what's up? This pit is for hollows, not for the likes of you sane folk. Or perhaps you are a hollow, posing as otherwise? Yes, then we are just fine. It's important to know who you are, but we'll all be mad soon enough. And should you be undead, well, all the more so. Beware, The shackles of the gods are fragile. You might need this. Etch it on your heart if you feel your sanity slipping.
Okay, so the Mound Bankers are another covenant. They're more like an invasion one, I think.
Come here to pile up your victims, for that will form your anchor. You'll see when you go mad. They'll be your family. You'll go mad one day, but not today. Take my advice. Use this bone and leave this place. This pit is for hollows, and for the occasional madman fond of piling up victims. You've better things to do, I'd hope. This pit is for hollows.
Okay. So we've exhausted his dialogue. You can sort of see a couple things. Like one, the sword I think is like a flamberge, and the helmet are very much similar to those little blow dart guys. Some of them carry flamberges, and then if you go here, you can pray at a sacrificial altar. You can offer vertebra shackles, which I don't think I have any. And I think you can get them by invading. Yeah, it's sort of like in Dark Souls 1, the Protectors of the Forest, that kind of idea, I think. Let's go to the Shrine Bonfire, because I don't think we can level up unless I've picked up some... Okay. So let's so we sort of did that direction. So let's go back to where those arrows were coming in. At the dilapidated bridge. And see if we can progress that way. Oh wait, no, we can go this way, because I think this is the key we bought. Nope, I guess not. I thought one of those madmen, there was like an NPC invasion that happened here. I think we need a few more shards to... upgrade the Uchi. I think we needed 8 and we had 4 or 5. How many do we have? 5. So we need, I think, 3 more. I think we've gotten mostly what we need from up there, so we can let the arrows take those guys out. Now, I think there might be like an Estus shard or something on the rocks over there, but I'm just going to go for it. Oh. Heal up. That was sloppy. Very, very sloppy. All right. But we survived. Oh, the Great Sight. Okay, that's... Okay, yeah. So I wasn't crazy that there were some weapons here that could work out. So that's a boss fight. This is actually a little bit of a tricky gauntlet. There's dogs, there's that deacon up there. So you really want to be careful what order you do this in. As you can see, there's no shortage of like embers to like sort of rekindle yourself. So you're probably wondering, why is there fog there? You will find out in just a sec. Is this what the key? I bought a key. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's do it. What is the Bloodbite ring? So one of the nice things about Dark Souls 3 is there's 4 ring slots. What does this do? Increases bleed resistance. I'll take that. So it means that you don't really... You don't really need to choose. Usually you can get a pretty comfortable build going with 4 rings. Because otherwise, if it were more than that, it would just be like... It would just be... like, just make them bonuses, right? Like, who cares at that point? Because you're not having to make a choice at all. But I always felt like with 4... Red hilted halberd. With 4, I was usually like, yeah, like I'm fine with these 4. I don't have to think about it anymore. Again, what I'm doing is I'm trying to lock on because there's this fog here. See the, saw it up on the high wall, the trees forming through the corpses. Here you got the skeletons sort of experiencing the same thing. Whoa. Now, a heavy gem, it allows you to basically add strength damage, strength scaling to a weapon. So I could make like a heavy Uchigatana. I don't think I expected him to fall. Now, I thought one of the things I did was I cut a corpse down and had it fall somewhere in here. Maybe it's in a different part of this ravine. This feels like a trap where the rats are going to come out of the... Yeah. Saint's Talisman, that's good. Should I start doing any miracles? I don't know if I've ever done a faith run in Dark Souls 3. I definitely, there's one on the channel where I sort of did like a Dark Souls 1 marathon and it was a faith run. Thought it worked pretty well on New Game, but not New Game Plus. Okay, so if you followed any of our Symbaroum playthrough, characters in our actual play are heavily inspired by this person we're about to talk to and her bodyguard.
Who is there? Is someone there? Anyone? Oh, please, whoever you are, touch me. The dark surrounds me, nibbles at my flesh. Little creatures, they never stop biting. So please, hold out your hand and touch me. Ah, yes, there you are. So close indeed. Then I am not entirely alone just yet. Praise the merciful gods above. Oh, forgive me. I am Irina of Karim. I came to this land so that I might be a firekeeper. Your touch has freed me from the darkness. You are a champion, then. I am weak and unfit to tend the flames. But if it would not trouble you, might I enter into your service instead? Oh, thank you, sweet champion. I shall take my vows. I, Irina of Karim, solemnly swear to serve you.
Right, so we've added her to the Firelink Shrine. And then the other NPC that is inspired part of our Symbaroum run.
Another one of those unkindled, are you? All you faceless undead, behaving as if you deserve respect. Now you've gone and rescued the wench. How very quaint. Pitying creatures that are beyond help. Very well. I'm sick of looking after her at any rate. I'm Egon, a knight of Karim. I am allied to you for as long as you assure the girl's safety. And only for that long. What's the matter? My terms are very simple. I am allied to you for as long as you assure the girl's safety. And only for that long. What's the matter?
Okay. So yeah, that hopefully sounds familiar. I want to head back down there. Can I survive this? Nope. Fantastic. Yeah, so I mean, that probably sounds familiar if you've been following our Symbaroum actual play. And I gotta say, I love the fact that Matt borrowed from this. For a couple of reasons. One, there are interesting stories. Two, it's something Matt's very passionate about. Matt knows these stories inside and out, the lore. And so my feeling is what it allows him to do is, you know, because he's weaving it into the lore and the world of Symbaroum. But it's stuff that he knows very well. I haven't killed any NPCs. I don't know what that means, so I'm gonna hold off. It also helps that I don't have the money, but yeah, it just, in my mind, it can add texture, depth, whatever, because Matt knows it so well that it can bring the characters to life, you know. And there are characters that he's really interested in. And I think that'll serve the NPCs in the story. Oh, interesting. Did I not kill this guy last time? I assume that's the guy that attacks through the wall, but I don't remember him the first time I was in this room. Maybe he was stuck in the wall, that's why. Yeah, I don't know why USB shit's cutting out. Like, again, like I don't know what's going on in my computer. I don't know if it's my motherboard. Like, part of me, like, I don't have tons of money, obviously, so I'm not looking to go spend more. And I'm not looking to tear apart my computer, because I got, like, the motherboard itself is, like, that's like the most extensive, like, if you swap out a motherboard, you're almost building a new system in a way. I thought this is where I dropped down. Oh, is it? Okay. Does that give me any better? No. No, it does not. All right. It's +1, but wait What does it do? High magic absorb. Okay. Okay, she's gone. He's gone. Souls, then we're going to head in here. There's a couple things we can do here. So again, we've skipped like the mini boss back behind us, but what I want to do... Oh, here we go.
Oh. Pardon me, I was absorbed in thought. I am Siegwart of Katarina. To be honest, I'm in a bit of a pickle. Have you ever walked near a white birch only to be struck by a great arrow? Well, if I'm not mistaken, they come from this tower. Whoever it is, I'm sure I can talk some sense into them. But I have to find a way up, and that's just the trouble. This lift only goes down, you see, and... Well, that doesn't get me anywhere. This lift with a...
All right, so famous Matt hot take. He prefers Sigward to Sigmar. I actually would say, okay, maybe that's a little bit of fan service because it's very similar. The puzzle to this is, of course, it's a double layer elevator that they tried to sneak past you by having it start to come up almost as soon as you approached it. Again, with elevators, always make sure, like, can you get off before you get all the way to the top? The answer is yes. We'll come back to that. But I want to come up here because I want to shut down... Oh. I want to shut down the guy shooting us so that we can mess around as need be along that path.
Who are you? I help anytime. I help anytime.
So now I think he will, you can see, he's got his perch up here. He'll still take out the others. He just won't take you out. I think. I guess you could kill him too, but I don't know why you'd want to do that. It's got a little bit of the vibe going on from Dark Souls DLC.
No! You should have waited! Well, it's too late now. I, Siegward of the Knights of Katarina, fight by your side! Ah!
I didn't see him. I mean, I must have missed him. He probably would have told me, like, you've got to fight these guys. There's two coming up. I gotta get away from this ledge. Woo, 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 woo. Whoa. Get a little greedy. Put it down once and for all.
That was quite a performance. But you mustn't get in over your head. We Unkindled must put our duties first. But, for the moment, we've a toast to make. To your valor, my sword, and our victory together. Long may the sun shine. Well, I'm going to have myself a little nap. The only thing to do, really, after a nice toast.
So I will say this. I definitely can see where Matt's coming from in terms of Sigurd over Sigmire. If you take into account Yorm. If it's just a standalone... I think Sigmire is a very tragic figure. Sigurd is key to Yorm's tragic figure. And like Sigurd is tragic and stands on his own. The participation of his daughter in his story makes it even more tragic, but it didn't need it to. Is it not? So the problem is this is a whole area, and I'm not equipped out of Estus. And there are some tricky moments in this area. I've got 11,500, like... sort of guess one of these is not like the other. I don't know why it's not letting me. Well. I thought one of these guys... I thought that one right there was an ambush. Now, the only reason why I don't really want to die here, well, I mean, there's a couple reasons, but I don't want to lose the souls, but this run to get back, if I lose the souls, is a hassle. Somewhere up here, I think there's like 2 deacons. Like that's, yeah, 2. Yeah, I can't deal with that right now. So I have to figure out another time to come back here. What I probably should do is just Homeward Bone. I thought there was like a club here that is a good strength, pure strength weapon. Large club, yeah. Kind of curious. Let me just take a look at that. Right now we're doing 138, 158, 162. This would be 148, 178. Well, because I'm so 178. So this is definitely more. And it scales C. Probably throw a heavy gem on that. You start scaling that up. Okay. You know what we're going to do? We're going to Homeward Bone. Go to the shrine. Level up.
Welcome home, speak. Very well, then taken. Farewell, Ash.
Ah.
So now the Great Scythe has a little bit of strength, a little bit of dex, which could be interesting. It's like a 129. It's got a bleed buildup of 30. It's got the same strength dex. Okay, so yeah, I'll stick with the katana. I'm definitely going to sell this. The Uchi, I mean. I feel like I could sell some of these shields. It's got a pretty good physical. What is this? The wooden shield reinforced with metal. The bizarre pattern features on the shields marked of a mad god. Okay. So I would lose parry, but it says equipping this shield in the left hand allows one to perform the skill of the right hand weapon. So I think, yeah, the parry trigger would become something else. So it's relatively high. Magic absorb 63, 55. Okay. Again, I don't think there's anything worth buying. That torch might be useful. For some reason, I remember that being important. Okay.
Ashen 1, B.
All right, I don't believe I have enough to... Do I? Do. All right. Okay, now we're into the large Titanite shards. I've got none of that going on.
Pretty be careful.
I'm going to check in with the Pilgrim just to see if we can get a free level. Again, once you do 5, it advances that plot line. So that's a pretty easy one to make work.
Oh, our champion. I would do it. Then shall we begin? Bearer of the...
Take a Dex.
Be safe, champion.
Now, if I'm trying to think. I can't remember if it was in Bloodborne, but this is the first Souls game that I can recall where you can respec. Could you respec in Dark Souls 2? You could. Okay, so that was something they carried over to this. Here's our new...
Oh, Champion of Ash. Welcome back. I was not meant to be a firekeeper, but I am honored to serve you beside the bonfire. The gods are ever merciful. My gratitude lies with them and with you. I am yours now. Your wish is my command. You know, in my home of Karim, I was a nun. I would be pleased to share the tales of miracles with you. Although, to be honest, I only know a few. But if I had a divine tome, I could tell you many tales and more. Ah, only I cannot see. Terribly sorry, but you'll have to find me a divine tome in Braille.
I thought that was a nice touch.
You know, in my home I
Okay.
but if I... Oh, terrible.
Okay, we've got heal, replenishment, caressing tears, homeward. Okay. I mean, again, nothing I'm super interested in,
Have a pleasant journey, champion.
but, you know, just to get her dialogue going. Okay, so this was something I never... There's charcoal pine resin, and then there's charcoal pine bundle. They both apply to the right-hand weapon. I think this one is better for in a fight because it's faster, but it doesn't last as long, maybe. And you put this one on before the fight because it lasts longer, but it's a slower application. That was always my guess. So we'll call it pretty soon. Let's just take one run at this. I'll show you the boss fight that we passed by. It's an optional boss. Ooh. That sucked. Let me let me try that again. Basically, I need my Estus at the boss fight, so let me... Probably run past him and he'd start to get it with arrows. Again, he's going to take out the enemies. He'll leave us alone because we've made peace. Here we got our first undead bone shard, which I think give us a +1 to our Estus flask, if I remember. Okay, we're mostly intact. And this is probably going to go poorly. It's not like the toughest boss fight in the world. It's a little bit of a puzzle boss, but I'm just so out of practice that it'll probably be a mess. Again, the idea, like, a lot of the skeletons and stuff had trees growing out of them, and here we have, like, rotted great wood. So basically you have to you can basically, there's a lot of guys running around here, but you can let him do a lot of the work. There you go. Probably should have stayed a lot clearer. Like, he'll kill a lot of the add-ons. So if you want, you don't have to deal with them too much. You just have to, be mindful of them so you're not getting hit. But there we go. That was our first run in Dark Souls 3. I gotta say, so one, I've been craving a Souls game. Two, the reason why I sort of wanted to, take a peek at this, obviously in our Symbaroum game right now, there's going to be a lot of Dark Souls 3 lore. It seems to be creeping in a lot, and so I was kind of curious, like, I've been itching. This is a good reason as any. I'm not going to do... my intention is to beat the game. I will not, I don't think, beat every boss. There's a couple of bosses that much like Manus in Dark Souls 1's DLC, like, I can't reliably beat a couple of bosses on my own. So if I get lucky and I can summon somebody, maybe I'll give it a shot. But if I can't, I'm just going to skip them. They're optional, so it's not the end of the world. My intention is also to do the DLC, but I might be just like, whatever, when the time comes, because there's, again, parts of the DLC that are very annoying. But the problem is that the DLC really brings home the story. And, of course, there's some of the lore in one of the DLC sections that Matt is pulling from heavily as well, so I don't know. But my intention is to beat the main story, at least, of this game. Why am I jumping into this when I've got Tainted Grail and Lord of the Rings book quests? Lord of the Rings book quests, if you've been following any of those, the lag for me is so bad that it's frustrating to play. So I'm giving it some time, or for me to do some research, or to see if they patch stuff. I read online somewhere somebody speculating, rumor mills, secondhand, third-hand knowledge, that there might not really be a fix for the lag in Lord of the Rings Online. You just gotta hope that you don't get it too badly. I hope that's not the case. And again, like, where I saw it was such third-hand rumor mongering that the only reason why I say it is because the lag has been so bad or so long in Lord of the Rings Online that it makes me go like, oh man, is that why? Like, the 64-bit servers haven't helped me. I don't know if that was ever really meant to be a solution for lag, or if it just helps them on some level, or maybe it opens up the gate so down the road they can, I don't know. But at the moment, the lag can be pretty bad for me. So I'm sort of giving them some time and giving myself some time to look up and see what I can do. Tainted Grail, I've been enjoying the whole time. The trick with it is I don't know if it warrants a minute-by-minute Let's Play or more of a check-in, what I did a little bit with, like, the X series. So we'll have to see how it goes, but this is, worth, like, showing the whole thing. And because of the Symbaroum play that we're doing right now, at the time of this recording, there's some overlap. So I wanted to, refresh my memory so I could hopefully more thoroughly enjoy what Matt is doing with Symbaroum. Even if it's just like having the knowledge in the back of my head and it's not directly applicable. But anyway, that's that. Thank you for everybody who checks this out. If you're watching this, you found our YouTube channel, like and subscribe if this is your thing. I guess there's like a notification bell. I don't know if that changes anything or if it just makes it easier for to know when we post something. Losing my voice a little bit. That's another reason why I gotta cut it off. But otherwise, you know, we are Black Lodge Trivia Night, mainly a tabletop RPG actual play. At the time of this recording, and hopefully at the time this goes up, we're sort of doing a bunch of Symbaroum stuff, or we're about to enter spooky season. But if it were up to me, I'd rather finish Symbaroum because Patrick's going to be jumping out of the rotation for a little bit with a second baby on the way. So we're hoping to wrap Symbaroum's this chunk of the adventure before Patrick ducks out for a bit, so that when he comes back, it's his turn of the rotation, ready to go with I think Deadlands. We'll see how it goes. Matt and I have some things, you know, on the hopper. We did a session 0 for Sword of the Serpentine, which is one of the things we're hoping to get to when Patrick's not around for a little bit. So again, it's all a little bit up in the air, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, mainly we're a tabletop RPG actual play site. For audio versions of that kind of stuff, just search for Black Lodge Trivia Night wherever you get your podcast. We should show up. If you want, you can jump into our Discord. We discuss CRPGs. We definitely discuss tabletop RPGs. We've organized a game or two. Mainly, like we did an attempt at Dragonbane that had to get canceled, and then we brought it back. And man, by the time this goes up, I don't know if it'll be done. Like, we've gotten through a couple of sessions already, and we've really made some progress. I don't know how many sessions are left, so it could be done by the time this goes up. But so, you know, that's the kind of thing. You know, we you know, it's just it's another Discord channel if you want to jump in and have one that's about tabletop RPGs. So, thanks again to everybody. Check this out. Hope you're doing well. Take care.